thing. But we're going to have a ZBZ here to finish us off in this series, and then we'll move on to our second series of today. But either way, let's head on over to the intro, and we'll be back in just a... Did I just start the game without you in it? I think I did, didn't I?
I believe you did, my man.
I will remake the game, and we will be back in just over a minute.
It's showtime.
Okay guys, welcome back. You are watching the STPL. I'm Kix, and joining me is Rapid, and we just saw iRk take a 3-0 win over aSh, but this is going to be aSh's redemption match, their chance at taking a little bit of pride from the series, as this is going to be game 4. And just quickly, let's head on over to the overlay and introduce our players. Okay, whoa. I don't know why the hell that just happened, but it went back to my previous one. I guess I did it too quickly after the transition. Here we go, let's head back onto the main overlay, which is apparently showing but not showing, so I'm gonna fix this. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so I guess the transition bugged out, but either way, and apparently so Herbie's in the chat and he was like, oh man, I'm playing today, I didn't play very well. And it turns out he didn't play at all, so he did actually get replaced by j0j0. Now j0j0 for aSh did play in the last round. He actually went 0 for 2, did lose his one CVZ last round. But he's back again in round 2, and he is going to be up against iRk's Whistler. Now Whistler did go 3 for 2 last round. He is 1 for 1 against Zerg, and 1 for 1 in this round. So he's a fairly strong player once again for iRk. And he is going to be looking to take the win here as we move on to our fourth and final map of this series. It's going to be Actec. Now, Actec a very standard map these days. It's on the ladder, so you probably played it a little bit if you do play the game still. 3-player map, mineral only thirds, and there's a lot of other map features which, to be honest, it's a ZVC, probably aren't going to come into it. But there are gas bases in 7, 11, and 3 o'clock, so we may see those if we get a crazy Hive ZVZ, but the last time I saw that was in the Clash of Char. I was still casting with Sail. It was about a year and a half ago, and it was on New Sniper Ridge with Tai 2 against, like, True Touch, I think. But either way, let's head on over to the game, and we can get started with our fourth game of this evening. And starting us off here in the bottom left position, or sorry, bottom left, I guess it is the bottom left technically, it's going to be the 8 o'clock position. It is the green Zerg fighting for aSh. It's going to be j0j0.
Yep, and his opponent is the also green Zerg, more like teal or whatever you want to call it. This is
Seafoam
Whistler.
green, or whatever you called it last time.
Yeah, there you go. Seafoam is my my go-to. But yeah, this is Whistler. He did show up to play for his team. I'm only saying that because Herbie's watching. But
Yeah.
the idea is that Whistler is also very good, so you should expect to see good things from him. My default is to watch APM, but we're like 10 seconds into the game, so both players are spamming.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll find out here in a second. I mean, it's CVZ, so just gotta watch open and builds. Both players with 9 drones. Will they go past it? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Overlords already on the way.
Yep, so nothing too crazy here from either player. Now, it's always a bit of a gamble in a ZVZ whether you go for 12 hatch, but are we going to see 12 hatch here? Are we going to see overpool? Or are we going to see a 12 pool? Now, as we did discuss before, 12 pool a little bit of a middle of the road build, not really getting you too much of an advantage in either way. And both of them are going to scout each other last, so this is going to take them forever. Interestingly,
Yeah.
j0j0 is hiding his Overlord as well.
Yeah, so it's a 12 pool for Whistler and for j0j0. Well, he is just a little bit slow here, my man.
He's saving up for
So
an
the
in-base
idea,
hatchery, I think.
yeah. So this is actually really. Anyway, the idea is in ZVZ you want to be the player that builds your spawning pool slightly later so that you can fit in extra economy. But if you build it too much later, then you don't have Zerglings when your opponent does, or maybe you skip out on speed and they don't, or like maybe you have some disadvantage there. But the in-base hatchery is kind of a cool way to both get the extra production but not be vulnerable by putting it so far out at an actual mining base. Obviously, you don't get the resources, but it does mean that he is going to be able to protect it a little bit more easily.
Yeah, and it does give him the option of going for some weird, crazy all-ins as well off of the in-base 12, hatch. One thing you do see sometimes is you see like some crazy. I've even seen it off of 3 hatcheries in base before, where you just go mass lings and hope for the best. Now, of course, this is a map with an inverse ramp. I think inverse is the right thing, maybe reverse. You do have the high ground as the natural rather than the main. So Zergling aggression could be a little bit stronger on this map, but Whistler, of course, is going to be able to get that sunken colony up if he does need to as natural, so a little bit harder to do.
Yeah, there's always those weird ZVZ games where both players it's like it's like a knife fight, but neither player really wants to take the first stab, so they're just like, I'm gonna kill you, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you too, and they both like just keep macroing, and neither player actually kills each other. I mean, there's that moment where you feel like you kind of have to maybe throw away your lings before mutas come out, but I don't know what we're gonna see here. Either way, there's no lair on the way for j0j0, which is kind of the biggest deal. So he is going to be building quite a few Zerglings. I mean, there's always the chance he just builds a bunch of spores and just tries to, hang on. But I don't really know if that's why you build your hatchery and your natural. So, I mean, I guess we'll get a chance to see. The number of ZVZs I see with this many hatcheries is low. So
yeah,
we're already a little bit exceptional.
Now, we do have the lair coming in for Whistler. j0j0 is going to take a 3rd hatchery at his natural here, as you did mention. Now, one thing that we should see j0j0 going for is an evolution chamber here. He can't expect to be able to get a spire this late. His spire is obviously going to be a very, very long way away, as he's not even started his lair just yet. He does have the gas, I believe, maybe a little bit off on that gas, but he did pull off of gas for a while to get the extra minerals for that extra hatchery. And of course, if he does manage to survive here, he is going to have a little bit of an advantage because he will have the extra lava. But it looks like he's going to go for an attack.
Oh, and by an attack, you mean like actually just insane craziness. So he has the extra macro from the extra hatchery, and well, not extra hatchery because the 3rd one hasn't kicked in, but he has tons of Zerglings, speeds kicked in, and that's the biggest advantage. It's unreal the difference between speed Zerglings and regular Zerglings. Like it's just comical, not even close.
Yeah.
So he has quite a few of those. And on the other side, yeah, there's a few Zerglings and a Sunken, but like, I don't know, my man. So we're going to need to see quite a few little concaves here. The Zerglings are not, like, if you have extra APM as a Zerg, just like build the nice little concave. Like, that's one of the things I always see like J-Dong do, just like anytime there's like a spare second, he's just like building perfect concaves. But as is half the Zerglings for Whistler, just not even attacking. Eventually he'll have mutas out, but just maybe like not too soon. The spire's not even done yet. And in the end,
he is going to hold.
Actually, wow.
That Sunken took a lot of hits from those lings, and also it did a lot of damage. So j0j0's going to be in a bit of trouble now. He does have his evolution chamber up. He's going for +1 attack, and he is going to have to build some creep colonies very, very soon, because even though he did delay the production of Whistler's air units, of course, He did, of course, need to make sure he does prepare for that, and it looks like he's going to. But now we're going to have the shoe on the other foot, as Whistler is the one with that Ling advantage.
Yeah. Wow. That, I mean, you can say, well, yeah, the Sunken blocked a lot of shots. I don't know if that's like the best control I've ever seen, but wow. Yeah, I mean, Whistler kind of got the best of both worlds. Like, yeah, okay, it delay. I'm gonna delay your meter production by losing my army. I don't know if that's a good trade, my man. So yeah, this is round 2. I also think this may not go well, but I guess we'll see.
Saying that though, j0j0 is up a hell of a lot of supply in the CVZ, and that is a hell of a lot of Lings. There is another Sunken there. It's a little bit more exposed this time, and Whistler has significantly less Lings this time as well. So this round 2 could be very strong. Are we going to see +1 kicking in? No. +1's not going to finish in time, so we should possibly think about delaying this, but it looks like he's going to go in anyway. Is he going to be able to do this? You know, a little bit of good control here by Whistler. Gets a nice concave, but this time it's going differently. You can see Whistler's Lings falling so quickly, and j0j0 doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, but in the end, it's going to be, you know, essentially not an even trade, but he did actually delay the Zerglings attacking his drones for quite a while. Now the drones are going to die here, which is obviously super bad.
And GG.
And in fact, so bad that he just taps out. You know, I always like it when Zerg players like hang on for the mutas to try to, like, you know, get equal damage. In the end, it's almost never enough, but like sometimes you got to go for that that attempt. Whistler didn't because he was obviously super dead, but in the end, man, I actually wish it had been a little bit closer. That was a really sick hold at the beginning.
And you know what? aSh did it. They got their win in the series as well, so they got a little bit of pride there. Don't have to go out 4-0 again for them. j0j0 was one of the players that wasn't sure if he'd come back for the STPL, but he came back this week, and it's a good job he did, because he just took out one of iRk's better Zerg players, so good work by him.
Yeah, okay, so the moral victory, congratulations, you get your little golf clap there. But you don't get a win, which is of course what matters. So iRk, as maybe expected, come out on top, and they you know, look to have a good season this season, just like they did last season. And then eventually all that will matter in the finals, but we still have, you know, some seasons to go.
Yeah, we've still got 2 rounds after this one. Apparently my cat is just behind me. I noticed it on the thing when I stood up. She is trying to find a place to lay because it's so warm in this place. That she's going to try and sit by the door and see what's happening. But either way, let's quickly throw it on up to the main overlay quickly to just show the results of that series, just for the benefit of the VODs and anyone who maybe missed the games beforehand. And then we can head on to a quick break as I set up for the next series. So as you can see, Ho took down 4 stars in a very random race. Couldn't work out what races either players were, but it was a TBC in the end. Ho did get the better of that. Oyaji taking down Dentag in a PvP. DeWalt taking out Hit Me Up in a fairly close PvT. And then j0j0 winning it back for aSh, taking it to 1-3 rather than 4 or 0-4 by beating Whistler in that previous CVC.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to, you know, at least leave a scar before you exit, but in the end, iRk win. I'm actually super excited for our next series, too. I think that should be maybe a little bit more even.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit more evenly matched. Like, of course, this is a pretty big team league. There's 13 teams in the league at the moment. I've already got three teams that want to join for the next round. So it may be growing a little bit. I may have to cap it at 14 again, like I did in round 1, but we'll see what happens. We'll see exactly if they can field enough players and everything to stay active.